It's Tartan coming at you with another episode of Total Warhammer 3. Today, we're playing the Beastmen, one of my favorite factions. This is Taurox the Brass Bull. I don't know if I've played him in Warhammer 3. I just don't remember. I wouldn't have beat a campaign with him, I don't think. But, okay, so how Beastmen work is you don't have to pay for your units, and then there's some other stuff. But all of that is less important than the fact that you don't have to pay for your units. There's those alternate currencies by which you unlock more unit caps and stuff like that, which we'll explore as we go. But first, we just need to knock on the door here. Now, it says it's going to be a Pyrrhic victory. That is preposterous. There are walls and stuff, but I mean... how long will they stand up to the might of a Minotaur charge, right? Not particularly well. Alright, and now they deployed there, and we're just going to run over this way. Because we are very clever beastmen, and they are very silly and dumb elves. And we're fast at running, and they're not. So, the other fun thing about dogs is everybody knows, they are, like, really, really good at chewing down gates. So we're gonna, you know, it would have been better if we had them in a different group. But by the time that the other army gets over here, we'll be ready to do that. Now this is just like very clever, right? This is just how to be a beastman. So they'll chew down this gate far before any of these other ones are going to be able to affect a position. You know, their dark shards are going to be running all the way over here, and then no sooner will they have done it. Be able to pop over here. On this side, you know, Minotaurs are considerably worse at beating down a gate than these guys are. Now, we need the dogs in here among the spears. We just need to back out here. Now, taking any damage here is not ideal, but we're just going to back on the Minotaurs there. Alright, what we need to do... You know, playing this in fast forward also makes the mistakes compound, you know, obviously. But it'll be fine. Alright. We can go to normal speed now. We're about to crack this gate. And we'll send one there, and one up here, and just try to, you know, remember to pay attention in the event that, you know, that becomes appropriate. Just charge up there. This wizard, Devolve is, like, not a spell that we care about here. And we just need these Minos to get in. This way. Younger Raiders, which should, like, pretty soon, you know, start firing here, right? Right. We'll put them on the wall there. League Swords here. We'll just take this point real quick to get rid of the tower. and then continue to move up around the country. These dogs will take this point, back over to where the fight is going. We need to back the Minotaurs out. You don't want to just leave them in there for free. These Ungor Raiders really aren't firing that much here. No, the majority of them aren't firing at all. You just need to get them off of the wall. And right here, alright, time to pull the Minotaurs around to the back and rear charge here. This Spearman herds, their leadership's not doing great, but a rear charge from Minotaurs should basically shatter this position. Or, you know, a flank charge, whatever. We just need to get him into the fight so that I can look over here and see who's attacking me now. We must be taking, yes, archer fire. We're just going to run over this way a little bit. Because I want to take this point before we... Come on, take the point first. You know, if you micro very carefully, please let me take the point. Oh my goodness. There we go. You know, we could have done this a lot of different ways. This isn't like a smart way to do it, but it's a very Beastman way to do it, right? And really, I just wanted to play, you know? It's, the thing about a Beastman campaign is it's fundamentally the most forgiving a campaign can be. You don't have to pay for anything. Most of your stuff can be stealthed when you're on the campaign map at any given moment, and there's just shockingly little that your enemies are going to be able to do about that because, well, they are bound by constraints of imagination that you are not. But even, like, so these are spears which, like, theoretically should be, like, good against, you know, large units. But you see there that, like, we could just have Taurox and a unit of Minnows just charge directly into spears and be like, alright, now the spears are gone. Minotaurs are very excellent. They're a lot of fun. Now, we got beat up moderately worse in that battle on, like, the Hounds and one of the spears than we would have wanted. That's not, like, really important. As you see, with the 220 kills on a Minotaur, like, with just the smallest bit of micromanaging, which we did slightly less than the smallest amount, but still, just a small amount of it, you can get really good results there. Spell Shield, which is mediocre, but theoretically works. Alright, so... like, I think the first thing you're supposed to do is put a herdstone down. Typically, right? Yeah. Because you throw one down, and then you burn all the stuff around, and then you do the ritual. I remember, yeah. So we raise the herdstone to create a blood ground here.
You have created new blood grounds, my lord, by raising and sacking settlements.
And yeah, so we just need to go all of these places that, you know, that going on in this devastation thing. When we do 10, then we'll get more marks, blah, 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 blah. We could spend 2,000 gold on a building. That's so many gold. It doesn't feel worth it. Alright, so for this, we can get 20 Dread a turn. Now, Dread is the mechanic that you care about as Beastmen. Dread is how you unlock unit caps for your army, and then, you know, from there, you just, you know, use them. You can also grab a confederation of the other legendary lords, including if they're eliminated, you can pop them into their faction. You know, you can get new faction level stuff, and you can get a couple of very good items with a lot of really cool effects. Like, I never know what to do first, because, like, what I want to do is get this, because if you buy this for 7,000 immediately, you don't have any money, and you can't make your building for more dread, but you get 2 Cygor summons, which is like a big artillery piece. I don't think it's necessary, though. We'll hold on to that thought. We can do it if we think we need to. So, tech first. And yeah, we'll just hold on to the money, although it pains me to do so. Cygor summons are good. Yeah, if we... Yeah, I guess we just do this because, you know, currency is the way to go. It may not be the exact ideal way to do it. We're going to take movement range. 10% he gets with his gargantuan hooves. Now, Taurox is bonkers. He's one of the... I'm always saying this about people. It sounds sincere. He's one of the best fighters in the game. He's very, very strong. He's got great animations. He's got a good kit. Good item. You know, it's very nice. It's not like an amazing item, but it's good. He doesn't cause terror out of the box, which is a little surprising. He almost certainly gets it from the tree. At the expense of one of the other things, perhaps. Alright, so because we are Beastmen, we know that we can get everything we need. Now, we just need raiders here, probably, maybe a dog or 2 again. And then, so you can fill up your whole army, and it's all free. Recruitment's free and upkeep's free. And it's just a huge party, you know. A couple more units for the front line, even though you don't care about them. And it's just all about filling up the space. Now, we might want even more dogs or even more raiders. It's hard to say. But, I mean, 4 units of dogs is good. That'll, Chaos Warhounds. Dogs by convention. And we are not going to build a thing there. Now, the first thing you do as a Beastman is turn off your notifications. You don't care what the world tells you. You're going to do your thing. You're a big old brass bull. Now it's time to burn it down. Because the thing about Beastmen are, and I keep on saying this, but you don't have to pay for stuff. And unlike like Tomb Kings, where you have to pay for your buildings in your horde, but you just don't lose it. But in Tomb Kings, you know, like if you're away from home and they mess with one of your settlements, you're like, oh man, what am I gonna do? If you're a Beastman, it's just like, who cares? So we are now going to move on down to Venomglade. Now, Auto-Resolve hates Beastmen, which is fine because Beastmen are fun to play. I need to change the camera settings real quick. But yeah, but we can see from clicking here that, you know, the amount of points you'll get. So we'll get 6 from cracking here and 6 from cracking here. And then basically you can like lock it down pretty quickly and you're just like, okay, now this is my blood ground and nobody else can build there as long as you've got your main place. Now, we are going to go straight to Minotaur buffing, because that's who I am as a person. We start with 3 units of Minotaurs. That makes me so happy. They're so good. They're a tier 3 unit, but they play at tier 5 in my heart. Like, oh no! Okay, well, we need to... I said we turned off all the things. Alright, so... Oh no. Not very small oh no. We failed to do the siege because I went out to change the camera and I forgot. But anyway, we will do this minor settlement here. The other great thing about Beastmen is that you can basically get Vanguard with practically everyone, and then you don't even have to, like, walk across the battlefield to your foe. It's very nice. Here, like, this is, like, you see, like, your army gets, like, pretty beat up, but it's all fine. And you can raise and advance, which gives you a lot of growth. and some more movement, or you can take like way more money. And at this point, it's tricky because more money could be very good, but growth is, I think, what you want to focus on. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I think. Because growth is how you get, you know, these points here. And normally you're only getting a couple. And you get more growth very gradually through buildings. It's like, do you even get it out of these at tier 3? Yeah, no, like, basically you get growth through either technology or, so the more hordes you have that are at this, you know, it levels them up. But it's slow to get growth. And so that's why you want to focus on it, because that's how you get access to your higher buildings. Because although you don't pay for your Minotaurs, you can't recruit them until you get to this tier. But if you just level up a lot, then you get access to your excellent suite of Regiments of Renown. And of course, being Beastmen, you also get to move quicker as you go. And we get to our home here in order to get a little bit more replenishment. And the wizard, so wild magic is like really good actually. Traderkin is an excellent spell that just does a bunch of damage to everyone around. It's you know, it costs a bit, but once you get it upgraded, it's less. And yeah, it's just good stuff. And Vile Tide is like this good explosive thing, and Brace Scream is like a small, like, is it called a wind style? A breath style. Yeah, I'm like not wind, because that's like a moving forward thing. And then you get summons for Cygors. So it's a school of magic that I think is very cool indeed. Bestial Surge is very nice. So Bestial Surge, every time you cast, you're going to get a charge bonus and vigor for all of your guys, which is very nice indeed. But we're going to take the spell itself real quick. Whoops. Get back in the army. Because, like, I love Beastmen. They used to be, once upon a time, they were a very challenging faction to play. They had to pay for their units. They didn't have, like, the unit cap upgrade system. A million things were different. And it was a hard knock life for a Beastman, right? But the worst lore of magic. Oh, that's a tough one. Also, good morning, Luke. And with this, like, that's like Wind of Death. That can't be the worst. Death magic is very, very good. Spirit Leech is one of the single best spells in the whole game. Like, it's an excellent, excellent lore. But we're already at unit caps for the Ungor. You do not spend points for Ungor. You don't. You might get it for a Chaos Warhound. You might do it for a Razorgore herd just to be cool, but you do not care about the Ungor herd. That's not where you spend your points at. Because if you want, like, guys in your army that have shields, first of all, okay, but second of all, Sangors exist and you just get up to them. They're so good. And we might do some Sangors. I actually, you know, I haven't played a Beastman campaign with access to Sangors ever, if memory serves, and it usually does. But anyway, so Challenge of the Dark Gods, we want Raining Blood. Yeah. It's the camera. That's, yeah, well, you know. Anyway, I'm like, it feels like the camera has drifted further away. It doesn't matter. When Weapon strength against elves and all the things, 10%. Good. Character leadership, meh. 5% speed, eh. You know, Ungor Raiders are actually a good piece of the army. And we'll continue to, you know, we'll run, you know, 4 to 6 of them for a while. Just by general tradition. And they do solve problems. They have stock, right? They have Vanguard deployment and stock, and they have missile troops. You know, they do damage to stuff like, because when you're fighting Dark Elves, you know, Shades are going to match up pretty humorously badly against them. They've got a bunch of hit point pools. That's the other thing, you know. They got 120 models, 6k for an archer. They're lightly armored, but, you know, the people can't even see them. I like the Beastman roster. I've said this before. We'll say it again before it's all done. And so the cool units that you're looking for out of the Regiments of Renowned is, you know, Butchers of Kalkengard and then the Jabberslith. So it's like up at the very top you get a bunch of cool stuff. And the lower ones are like okay, but I don't get like super excited about them. If we can get to 7k, we'll probably buy the Blind Eye of Seeing, which is, you know, that sentence I'm always saying, one of my favorite things of the game. But you may recall from the Temercon campaign how pleased I was when I was like, I can get a Cygor summon in my army, because that to me is really living. Like, it's just so good. I love summons anyway, you know, I'm a necromancer sort of player in Diablo, you know. I wanted to make druids work as a summon character in Diablo. That's how much I believed. But what we want to do now is walk over or underway over. We will underway over very aggressively because it doesn't matter. Like, we took too much time. We should have underwayed over like the day before. It's still fine, you know, we just took too much time. And they'll get, you know, slightly more than they otherwise would have. Silostra just took Venom Glade, which means we'll have to burn it down again. So here we're going to expect an interesting little fight. Bunch of Dark Shards. Not very much to deal with Minotaurs, so all you really gotta do is, you know, get around. We got 5 units of dogs. Great mobility. Great punch. We have enough magic for, like, a couple Traderkins, and it's gonna beat the brakes off as well. You know, Traderkin, real good. Can we get behind them? Not in a relevant way there. Dogs and dogs. We're gonna come up through the trees this way. And then from there, we're just gonna, you know, ply our trade of war like so. We're gonna be able to be on the high ground, coming through trees at a Dark Elf force, which is, for my money, just about as good as it can feel. Happy cow noises about to rain here. But yes, Worst Lord of Magic. Hashwood is very bad without bonuses, right? Like, Hellhammer's not good unless it's incredibly cheap. Flames of Asgore's not good unless it's incredibly cheap. Whatever that little magic missile thing is objectively worse than Fireball. Their lore passive is, like, not that good. It's not that much. Like, it's a little AoE damage, which is fine, but it just doesn't, you know, doesn't feel like it inspires. And they're going, like, straight backs to the wall here. That's interesting. Because the thing about Dark Elves is they're cowards. Now, they don't think that about themselves. Elves often wouldn't. But they are, though. And I'm going to show you what I mean here in a second. We're going to see what remains of these vaunted lords of men here. These Druki. They fancy themselves the masters of the world, you know. They think they're better than everybody. They're like, in a way, it's not just me that says this, the Dark Elves say this about themselves. In a way, they're like the elfiest kind of elf, right? Because they are delusional about being jerks. And now it's time to brawl. And we're only slightly late to the party here. The Warhounds get caught up in the trees, pretty annoying. Here. The important thing is that their dark shards are getting harried, and now we're just going to push all the way through. Taurox having a party. We're about to lay a massive trader cannon right here that's going to hit everything. Some of the things. A bunch of the things. Seems good. We hit a blood beast and blow up that thing in the middle, and now we're just going to charge all the way through. Warhounds getting beat on. They're gonna, the thing is though, is we're on the edge of the map, so when they rout, they're gonna rout all the way off of it. They being my units. So we might actually lose this. You know, it's possible. We might actually lose this. You know, we might have walked right into their trap by taking the battle here, but I don't see how we could have, you know, done it any differently. We had to take the fight after all. But yeah, you know, I do see how we could have done it differently. We could have not had our archers literally walking up into the fight. You know, there's about 1,000 things we could have done differently. But what I mean is we would have had to take this weird fight anyway. But, I mean, I don't actually think we're losing, right? I do think that I'm gonna go and punch their leader in the face. Alright, so the good news is that Minnow blob broke through. All the dogs are gone, except these dogs who didn't fight at all. You know, that's great. Now the Ungor Raiders are shooting, that's roughly good. And Taurox is beating on the Supreme Sorceress of Beasts, which is, you know, fine. And here we're going to leadership bomb them with this because I just, you know, I want them to break. And I feel like this will be what we need to get a chain route. They got Murderous Prowess active, but just that 8 leadership I think should be enough to get all of this going. And I was right. We get through there. We still haven't lost any models on any of the Minotaur units. You know, I overreact to how I think things are going, huh? A typical thing. Alright, we have lost some units here on the Minos. They're in the middle of spears unsupported. Feels bad. We're just gonna keep on feasting. Taurox, after charging in there, is going to just patiently do a sweet roll into this sorceress, because of course look at her and look at Taurox. Like this is not a fight that people want. He is a big old dude, and we win. You know, fighting near an exit isn't where you want to be, but that's the thing about not having Cygors in your army, and why I usually try to get that item pretty quick is, you know, if you have magic or you have artillery, you have some way to force the AI to start walking to you, then you can fight in a place where you want to fight, like not by the border of a map where your dogs will run off. But of course, the good thing is that they, you know, they don't get too hurt, and then they're right back again. You know, several hundred kills on all the Minotaurs again, because they are what it's all about. And we're going to... destroy Clarkarond, Bestial Rage it, which give us enough to go here. And upgrade our main settlement building, very important. And there we wanted the money just because I want to get up to 7k. I wanted to get that second tier, and then we probably won't even build a... No, we can get... Never mind, we can get Zangors at tier 2. We're going to have 6k for that. And then eventually we'll get to the Cygor summon. Eventually. And now Trader can discounted for 9, and it's going to be very nice. We'll be able to get some good value out of that. And now, basically, all the places that give us points have been gotten. So it'll tell you over the settlements in the blood ground, you know, burn this one down. Since we've already burned that one down, it doesn't care. So next turn we'll go there and do our little ritual. Or do we just do it now anyway? I think we just do it now. And we get our little marks, and then as you get your marks up, you also get, you know, your
gods and elevated the Bray herd. You may return to these lands later if you wish.
Because we can't do Zangor stuff until we get to 99 marks. But alright, now we have to choose a new person to fight. And I mean, probably the Dark Elves here. You know, why not keep on fighting Dark Elves? Like, I'm still trying to think of the worst lore of Magic. I'm like, man, there's some real bad ones, but how bad? Like, what's the caster I want to see least? I mean, like, I think probably, like, a Shadow... Shadow gets Pit of Shades, which is fine, but I just think, like... I don't know. And Pendulum, which is fine, and Melkoth's, which is good. Okay, yeah, I take it back. Shadow's good. Alright, so we've got momentum. We're not using it, but we've got it. And now we are going to take our beat-up army and start a fight with Malekith, because that's what's hot on the streets. That's what we're going to do. We're even going to raid him. It's about sending a message. And he might think we're going to attack Hegrafe, but we're going to, like, go and do this in Nagarun, because that's what kind of a brass bull I am. And here, weapon strength seems good. Like, do we want to jam them together? Nah. And we'll just do this and then pop Nagarond next time, and then yeah, and Malekith will get like really mad about it, and he can stay mad. Now, can we beat Malekith's army in a fight? Maybe. Will it be very funny even if we don't? Maybe. Alright, so what do we get? Alright, so Solar Eclipse, we're going to be able to... It's the same thing there, but we're going to be able to get full replenishment. Dread stuff, fine. Bestial Rage, fine. Horde Recruitment 4. I feel like the Dark Elves get too many units too quickly, given the elf population problem, like dwarves. Indeed. And the High Elves. Like, you know, I guess, like, replenishment is supposed to be what takes the place of recruitment difficulties and those things in a lot of ways, but it certainly often feels like they don't have the problems that you would assume they would.
Adventure beckons. Be wary, though, for while the potential rewards are great, so too are the perils.
But here we are at the hold of the Dark Elves, who were not home, which is deeply unwise of them. Just deeply unwise of them. I'm beginning to think that maybe they shouldn't be allowed to run everything. We'll have to pursue these ideas. Alright, so... 1 door, 2 door. We'll just do this right here, and then we'll be able to, like, get a good blob fight. But that means we'll also want a dog over here to annoy them. Alright. Alright, I guess we'll go in this door, which they have been kind enough to leave relatively unsupported. However, we will get shot by towers on the approach, and that'll be a very sad thing indeed. Oh no, the tower can hit me? Well, that's bad. You know, we'll need to move away. But this is a classic example of how beastmen are actually much smarter than elves are. They don't like to brag about it, but it's true. Now, their towers here are, pretty good. Pretty good. Not, like, incredibly good. And once we chew down the gate, which will happen quickly enough, you know, they're not going to have a great time. The Blackguard of the city are the ones that will be defending it here. They are very scary stuff, however, you know, we've got our own set of tools for such things. We're just gonna shoot at some Cold One Knights there for a little bit. I mean, why not, right? Alright, a couple more 1,000 HP on the wall, and now it's time to go. So we want infantry in first to break the brace, and then Taurox is just gonna go right in and do his explosion. Yes, because that is what a charmery is. Because the problem is, you know, they're about to show up, and oh no, this actually is a big problem, isn't it? Alright, so I think I'm gonna lose. I think we're about to get shot up really badly by all their people. Maybe we can just leave this breach and go over there. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Yeah, I don't wanna do this anymore. We're just gonna leave. They can't stop us. We'll just run away. I think that's a bad place to fight. They've got too many barricades. No, no, run away, dog. Stop getting shot. I beg of you. Sitting still to walk in single file lines. How polite, you know. And then from here, we'll just, you know, break down these gates. Because it just really seems like being up there is bad. Alright. Oh my god. I'm so stupid! Oh my god. Yeah, well, you know, this is, you know, I get impatient and then I lose. What are you gonna do? Change? Not likely. Man, what a bad player. What a bad player. Just role-playing being an idiot beastman and losing everything. Don't mind me, just throwing away my army. Not like we need to be able to fight after this idiocy is done or anything, man. Assuming I win, which is a big assumption at this point, we're probably just gonna lose. But you know, you shouldn't play a game like this if you're not willing to be patient enough to play properly. Or you certainly shouldn't be surprised when you lose. One or the other. Because this was like a very dumb siege. Like I got annoyed, right? And then And now I'm gonna lose Minotaurs. Now I'm gonna lose Minotaurs, which is a disaster. Man, so bad, so bad. What am I even doing here? Yeah, but if you lose your main army and your wizard, like, you literally can't ever, like, it takes 50 turns to get Minotaurs again. You just have to get you just have to start over. Which, like, even if I lose these Minotaurs, it's gonna make me feel like I need to restart anyway. Just, and I mean, if I think we've lost them. Cause like, there's no point going on, right? Like, you'll have a hollow and empty life forever. Well, maybe we'll save them. The Black Guard finally broke. The Shattered here. Probably going to be army lossing before too long up here. Well, you know, we do win. But it's like every campaign. The real stakes are units that you can't replace. Which this gives you 3 at the very beginning. And they're ones that have to fight in melee. And, like, if you lose the wizard as well, because that's, like, a lot of money, a lot of time, and you don't, like, have any way to do anything to get your army back together again. But, you know, you also don't have to attack the Dark Elves if you're bad. You know, you could just not do that. You get to pick what you do in the game, you know. And it's not like I don't know I'm bad. What a dumb siege. Well, I mean, I'd hoped the initial pivot would work. It didn't. But the good news is that's a super nasty garrison, and now it's gone. It's never coming back. We're gonna raise a little herd stone here and either lose the game or not pretty soon. Because if this Skaven is at war with the Dark Elves, and they are... Alright, we go here and get Zangors. And the other Monogodgors. For 6k, or... Yeah, this is better. This is better, I believe it's better, and we're just gonna treat it like it's true. So he'll be able to do a Cygor summon. That is going to let us give battle in an advantageous way. Alright, so do we want ward save and melee defense, and then defense for the Minotaurs, or terror and melee attack for the Minotaurs? Well, you know, what's better, living a while or doing slightly more damage? More power for the Minotaurs. Bestial Surge, alright. Oh, and that thing is active for like another couple turns. Oh, well that's alright then. Okay. I retract my previous sadness. Getting beaten that badly doesn't matter. Valkia the Bloody is right next door. That, you know. Hey girl, what's up? She loves me! Maybe we won't have to fight her. That's good. Valkia's scary. Alright, so Dread, we can, you know, we could have gotten that before this one, but yeah, we'll just hold on to it a bit. Because I almost want to just save up 1200 to grab, like, Malagor. Because other legendary lords, they're very strong. Celestia declared war on me. Oh no, she's going to burn down my herdstone over there. Then I'll be lost. I don't actually remember if it matters. Because Malekith's right there, which means I'll go, like, right here. Because his army, it won't be, like, terrifying yet, right? And he's only level 6. He does have the armor already for the turn coming back, you know. There's nothing... There's rarely anything more annoying in this game than... Wait, can I get to Hagrid right now? If I can, then this raiding stance is... Oh, that's right. Juggernaut raiding lets you go further. Well, I feel like fighting this when no one's home is more important. And raise in advance, get the thing, because we're getting full replenishment under this moon for one more turn. So that auto-resolve was fine. It wouldn't matter how badly we got beat up, which is really nice indeed. Really, really nice. And then we'll go to Hidden Encampment to maybe be able to make Malekith do something silly. Because he can't get to Nagorond right now. And we could just hit the ritual if we wanted. But, you know, we're going to try to get a couple more hits on it. But, yeah. Clean. When you get a button that says all damaged units will be fully replenished, that's what you do. Hey, Coolio, how are you? Playing a little Warhammer. Alright, so we got that. And while we will eventually need... the other red line there. I mean, we might as well do it right now because... You know, because it gives you missile strength. Missile resist, you know. It gives you what you need. And I'm like, yeah, when do we get this? Okay, here's when we get it. Brass body. This is what makes him, you know, fancy. We're about to get some real cool stuff here in a couple of levels. Now, I think we just keep on going red line, though. Yeah, might as well. So we can either get damage for eventual Cygors, we can get other things for other monsters. Buffing the missiles is fine. We can always respec them later if it's deemed necessary. Yeah. Play this campaign for a bit more, probably another hour or two, maybe a little more than that, and then we'll play Inscription later on today. Oh no, they've taken away my place. So if we go, like, right here, we're going to be able to trick Malekith and this army, which is full of shades, yikes, into coming here. Maybe. You know, this could be the end. No, we'll be fine. What can a bunch of shades do to us except literally win? But hopefully he'll walk into the ambush. Yes, the enemy failed to spot my ambush. Glorious. And while that could mean that we could just win, what it does mean is that we're going to fight it. And then, you know, he'll probably be able to get away because I'm not very smart. But, unimportant. If we need to go back and auto-resolve it, we will, you know, whatever. But I don't want to not do a Beastman ambush. After all, we're ambushing. Alright, so they need to turn around and get to here. And they've got Cold One Chariots. That's a little annoying. Malekith is primary armor piercing and has very good stats. He's on his, you know, he's on his little raptor, not, of course, on his dragon yet. Sorceress of Fire is on a horse, so she's going to be very easy to beat on. Now, the important thing here is that we just want to get on all these dark shards. So the backup army had all the shades. And this army's got all the dark shards. They'll be sorry about that, of course. Alright, and here we're just going to want to move them. Yeah, no, that'll be fine. We'll just charge them up there a little bit here. So we're going to drop a Cygor summon that'll be able to bombard them. Alright, the ambush is sprung. Cygor on the hill. We want to move in here. We've got our Minos going to the chariots. Mainly just, you know, to get some damage there. Send a message. Alright, a burning head cast hysterically badly, going up, and it's going to cook their own dark shards. Oh, the humanity. Malekith's there, fighting spears. You know, he's not going to love that. Alright, we need to keep on going here. We need to get our infantry embroiled in combat there. And they are, obviously, you know, it's an ambush. It's going well. But they are just melting under the weight. The Cygor, of course, providing artillery fire. That's going to really mess with their leadership as well. You know, they're having a lot of trouble here. They're going through some stuff. The brass bull explodes. We've got our spears on Malekith, which is just where they want to be. Everything is working out great. And, you know, if any of them run over this way, they don't get to run too far. Now, we do want to get some Minos fighting there and there. Traderkin on the blob. These are the Black Guard. We don't want them to be shooting there. He hits his little I'm a wizard thing that his mama taught him. It does all right. You know, it could have done better. And now we're bashing around here. They're trying to get in on Taurox. We're just going to push straight through and fight Malekith now. That's what we're going to do. Another big hit here on their main infantry. The Cold One Chariots are highly armored, but, you know, a couple of handfuls of our guys charging at them will be good. And then here we just put our our reinforcing army into formation and watch them work. Time for another Cygor summon. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's such a good item. And Malekith, I confidently believe, without seeing what's happening, that we are winning this fight, and we are. Malekith's a great fighter, but Taurox, he's the brass bull. Dog's running around all weird. We just need to get some of them back here and here. You don't want to get shot up for free. You don't want to get shot up and get paid for it, honestly. But if you have to choose, you know, you take the glory of charging across the battlefield with your reinforcing army. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff right there. Malekith runs. Malekith runs. Aww. Well, you don't see that every day. Oh no, not my Minotaurs. They're getting shot up. Oh man. We can probably get out of this fine, yeah, because we have such people coming up there, yeah. Alright, good stuff. You know, the leadership on the dogs it's tough. You know, they can only stand to lose like 2/3 of their hit points before they run away. I don't know what's up with that. But we get the Minotaurs out. You know, they lost a bunch of hit points, but we're good there. And we want to get the hit on Malekith. There he goes. He falls in battle. Glorious stuff. Just beastman things, you know, and of course fighting that army on the battlefield without an ambush would have been much more annoying. We would have been able to do it without our reinforcing garrison. We still would have been able to do it, probably, because this army had a bunch of dark shards which don't have stealth. So, you know, the Cygor summon would have done work. And it did. And this guy will never get credit for it. You know, the Brave Shaman of the Wild, our army will never show up the beautiful work that they were doing. But, you know, 1,000 gold value on all the Minos. Malekith falls. Get wrecked. And we could take the money. I think, no, because we get 4K for that fight. Wowza. We're just going to take the replenishment. We're going to be able to build the Zangor building next turn. They want war? The more they shall have. I totally don't believe in paying bribes. I'm a bull. I'm a huge Minotaur. I'm like the beloved of corn. Speaking of a beloved, you know, you already get Frenzy as him, don't you? Like, doesn't he start with it or something? Well, I thought he already had Frenzy. And because that happened right there, oh man, that's so good. Replenishment, so awesome, and then... Alright, wonderful, wonderful. What a great time. Alright, so we could take Missile Resist... And it might be good. No, we'll just keep on going red line, right? Right. Even though probably Blessed by Evil is better for post-battle loot for money. It'll be okay. He's going to take Savage Dominion, so now he's going to have a Cygor summon and a Cygor summon. Alright, so we'll attack this army first. Oh. The ambush from the charge stance worked out. Alright, yeah, well, we'll just do this auto then. Yeah, boom! Wonderful. And we get 2k from the fight, man, you know. They really make you work, huh? I'm the Juggernaut! Alright, so we get the Chalice of Melfur, which, if we just get somebody who can use that regenerates, then that's going to be pretty good. Does Malagor regenerate? Can we get an item that'll make Malagor regenerate? Because if so... Does Morgur have an arcane item slot? I don't think so. And now it's a 10 mana for a Cygor summon. It's so nice. And we smash. And we get a trait for getting the momentum. We start the rampages, because he's got a little button somewhere where you go on a little rampage. You know, it's this whole thing, and then he's all like, "Brah," and then "Brah." Area sandstone's usually a construction stock cruiser. Yeah. I think that's how it works. Yeah. The event. But no, it's for the building cost still, right? Yeah. And they do build things. It works for these. It does not work for these. It doesn't work for horde buildings, but it's the same. It's the same one. It's still a construction cost producer. It just doesn't work. Alright, so here we gotta go to level 3 on there as soon as possible. It's like, how many more do we want to squeeze out of this? Because here, I mean, we can get like 4 more out of burning down the Temple of Cain, which we can do in like a turn or 2. And then here, we pop this because getting to level 3 is the most important thing, because then we'll be able to build this building when we get slightly more money for a Gorbel and Minotaurs. Which is why if you win your fights for the first 15 turns, you can get Minotaurs. But if you lose, then it'll take you 50. You know, it probably reduces the cost of the buildings that you build in your Hearthstones, as if anybody ever builds them. I mean, you could, but they cost like 2k. Who has the money for that? You can get like one of the sweet banners for that much almost. Well, you know, we could just pop it now, I guess. And then they... there. It would just, like, stop them from colonizing Hagrave and Grond. Which that's like another, that's a major settlement, right? So that's like, that would be good. That would shut off some people from things while the Herdstone remains. Because if we don't get it there in a couple of turns, we might as well do it now. But we can just do like so. Oh, the Grombrindle the White Dwarf. Who's he at war with? Oh, isn't this a beautiful thing? Aren't you happy to have witnessed it? Grombrindle the White Dwarf is going to be able to eliminate Malekith. And I helped. There we go. Boom. 25 spell resist for the whole Lord's army. And that brass body on. Nature's healing, exactly. Many-limbed fiend is 15 attack now? Has that always been 15? Maybe. Oh, he doesn't need the Mask of E anymore. Because he has terror, and now we'll do that. And now he can spot with a spyglass. Of course, before too long, we'll want to do his unique quest. But... no, we can wait for the ritual for... no, we might as well do it right now. Yeah. That way Grond will be locked out for a little bit. And there we go. We've done multiple rituals. And... where's my reward? Now we can do this. That's the reward. I was like, when do I get my Minotaur thing? There we go. I was like, there's a reason. Alright, so then we're going to be able to get, you know, yeah, Vanguard for Minotaurs. And weapon strength. You know, a lot of good stuff. And that gets us to level 1, where we can use, you know, more things there. And I would like to get, like, a Feral Manticore or two. I love a good flying unit, you know. And that gets us access to another army, which we will get right now. Now, what kind of lord do you get for an army? There are many schools of thought. Do you get a Beast Lord because that's bad? Do you get a Doom Bull because it's amazing? Or do you get a Great Bray Shaman because you can get, you know, good casters? What? Discouraged on attacks? Are you joking? These are real good. You know, I haven't seen the modern traits, so now Nurgle's Foul Stink gives you Cloud of Flies plus negative like, man, that's real good. But this is going to buff all the Minotaurs in the army. And again, we'll be able to have Minotaurs in this army too. Do they have Dazed? They have Dazed out of the default. That's real good. I think we're going to go with a Doom Bull here. Yeah, and Blood Greed, you know, you gotta have your Blood Greed. And now he will, you know, slowly start leveling up his guys. Oh yeah, that's what it's all about. You get your second army, and then, you know, you can do silly things like pick on people. All right. Now we're going to do this fight. It says, you know, it'd be a nice close victory with low casualties. I don't know how it'll go with me in control, but we're going to do it because it's important to do fights. I feel like the Ogre Bulls match up very well. I feel like Ogres match up very well against Beastmen. But that's a lot of Ogre Bulls, and we're just going to do it. You know, we're just gonna do it. You know, we do have double Cygor summon. And where's the runaway from the where's the exit? I mean, it doesn't really matter because we dive on the back and then get countercharged by. Alright, let's see how well the ambush works against the ogres. Alright, so that's the flingers mostly offline, and now the dogs can back up this way. And then get obliterated on the retreat. Oh my goodness. Oh my, wow! Yeah, just totally deleted on the retreat. Every single dog unit, you know, whatever didn't work, they all shatter, they get demolished. But you know, that's I guess that's how it goes. Alright, let's see how this fight's gonna go. Alright, they do come back. What tanked their leadership like that? This dude have terror? Did they do some spell? Did they get like Flock of Doomed? I don't know. You know, it's gonna be fine because it turns out that the uphill charge, these Ogre Bulls are getting demolished. They don't have heavy armor, right? So interestingly, our crummy little archers maxed up wonderfully well against them. The old brass body, you know, I didn't actually think of that. The archers do tremendous work against Ogre Bulls. Just very, very good. And then, you know, we do have the AP fighters to back it up. You know, whoever else shows up, if they happen to have armor, but it doesn't look like anybody here has got the armor to back it up, right? And then we're just gonna throw summons here, 3 more seconds for a summon there, and then, you know, because this guy is the Lore of Cygor summoner now. And then we will also hit a big old Traderkin there. That's going to hit like everything. Yes, like everything. It will hit like everything. The Lore of Cygor summoning continues, you know, they're doing good work, you know. 500 gold value out of a summon when you get 4 summons. Like, again, these are siege artillery summons. They could take down towers, although why would I ever care? Just run around like a moron, and it'll work itself out. That's my siege strategy. Wish I wasn't so honest, but that is what I do. And we should make enough money out of this to be able to buy the Minotaur building. And then, of course, all we have to do Well, we'll be able to get a hero, and not more Minotaurs. But then we got to get the Dread up to where we can spin the Dread upgrades. So we just gotta, you know, a little bit of time, and then we're gonna have so many Minotaurs. It's gonna be wonderful. You're gonna love it, I guarantee it. But yeah, we get a good old truckload of money there, and of course, now they're really sorry about all of that. Harsh Rampage achieved. And we get Blackhorn's Ravagers, which are a totally decent thing. And now, you know... And of course, you get another army, you get more Dread going on, if you could afford it. Like, why does it say I can't afford it? Because, yes, with your Rampage panel, so, you know, you can be like, bam! You click one of the things, and then, like, because, so here, you know, you can put -8 enemy leadership. Very good, but as you level it up, you know, you could click here, and then you all of a sudden, you get better summons. You can make the moon event happen, which is very good indeed. But you just got to keep on rampaging, or if you really needed to win a fight, or like a tiny bit of Dread or something. But like Horrific Onslaught's good, but I would just like hold on to it, I guess. All right, so I'm the Juggernaut for dazed attacks. Drenched in blood. This gives him regen and melee, and, you know, gives... It gives a increasing heal per second. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we take that. I'm like, it does what? It, yeah. They, gives him healing. Wonderful. Of course, the Butchers of Kalkengard, the most famous of all Minotaur things, are armor-piercing, shielded, and have regeneration. And then they'll be even better in this army than ever before. Even better, I tell you. And we're just going to keep on getting guys here. Now, even though getting more Dread would be good, we just need a little bit more money and we'll be able to get that Gorbel. Now, how best to achieve getting that money? What do we want to do now? Do we fight Dwarves? You know, if we take care of Grombrindle right now... Because he raised the Temple of Cain. No. It's just... It just has the icon there. Alright, so if we attack him right now, we'll be able to eliminate his army. And he's just level 11. Because if not, the alternative is what? We go somewhere else?
Any further dealing we have must lead to bloodshed.
I think we drop 2 dogs and get these guys. And then yeah, I guess we'll just attack here. after all, and then we can move up into those lands there and burn it down, and then, you know, that'll be a direction we can go. Yeah. Sorry, Grumby. I mean, not that sorry. You might beat me. Alright, so he's got 3 blasting charges. He's got quarrelers. We've got brimstone guns. There's a lot of scary stuff in this army. The brimstone guns, I don't have a good way to deal with them, right? We might just get shot up by them for an extended period of time. The one thing I do have is artillery. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, you know, we could just leave and never fight against the dwarves. But if we're going to fight him, we might as well fight him right now before his army gets any better. Because he doesn't have any artillery. And we're going to be able to get him to come to us, right? So we're just going to have to make that count. We will be able to make him come to us. That's not going to be tricky. The only tricky thing is how to affect powerful combat once we've done so. So they already know they have to close the distance. They're aware of what comes for them. And what we want to do now is just start chipping away at the minor blasting charges. And then we'll start throwing at the hammers in a second. Because really, all we're doing here is getting, you know, misses, but as they rotate around, because blasting charges can actually do really, really great damage against a lot of things. And taking care of this with these summons is fine. Like, if we just chip away at all of this with the first 2, because we've got a couple more. And really, like, this is fine. As a skirmish phase, there's nothing wrong with what's happening here. But I would like to drop some hits on the hammers. And the Iron Drakes, that's another worry. You know, they only have 1 unit of them. Now, Cygor artillery doesn't match up particularly great against them. And hammers are a big problem against us, you know, like that big AP damage, you know, if we get Taurox accidentally in there or whatever, you know, we wouldn't want that. And they're also, you know, a good linchpin for it, but yes. Thankfully, Gyro Brimstones are the worst. Yeah, by a pretty wide margin, in my opinion. But now the Iron Drakes are more centered, so we're going to be able to throw a bunch of shots in right there. And get some collateralized damage as well. Now, these gyros coming in, you know, they're going to be, because there's only so many visible units in this army. I was like, what's hitting me? I'm like, oh yeah, they're summons, they're crumbling. I'm like, how could they have done this? But they are blobbing very beautifully here. These next 2 shots are gonna do a lot. Don't make me a liar. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of damage. Oh my god. The humanity. And this is why that Cygor item is a very good early pickup. Now, of course, our amazing artillery barrage is going to come to an end in like 30 seconds. But look what we've done. We have demolished a huge portion of their strength, including their most elite infantry, just beat up, including some of the scariest shooting that they've got, just beat up. Huge amounts of miners blasting charges, like bowling pins. Oh yeah, there we go. That's another good couple. Oh yeah, they love a straight shot. The Cygors do, and then we'll just try to hit these hammerers right as we're about to crumble to dust. Well, we almost got it. And now it's time to charge in. Alright, so now it's time to brawl. The brimstone guns still don't know what to do with themselves. Of course, they don't appreciate that we're about to come out of the trees at them. Why would they? We haven't bragged about this yet. Brimstone coming back. Just as planned. Oh, man. They actually did a bombing run. You know, we might have to just let them shoot us, right? Alright, so they're sitting still enough for our archers to shoot them, which is very good. Here, we just need to... There's blasting charges right there, which I saw right in the nick of time. Almost in the nick of time. Explosion there. Iron Drakes down to 12 models. They don't have a lot of hit points. What we're getting here is running right into Grombrindle. Not ideal. We're going to go around this way for the flank. And try to close in here on these blasting charges before they get to do too much to us. Alright, it looks like all of our attempts to behave intelligently before then are gone. And we've devolved into, now the Iron Drakes are shooting us. Alright, good, good! This is a big blob. Now, just because we have this massive blob and there's a bunch of Iron Drakes doesn't mean they're going to be able to shoot us. It doesn't mean that. They might not. They might not. Alright, so the good news is the brimstone guns are, you know, they got 5 models left. And they're almost out of ammo. Now, Gromby is trying to fight Taurox, and that means we shouldn't let him. And we do a sweet roll into our foe here. We're just going to back up in this. Alright, Minnows are still in fine form. Thunderers are there. Quarrelers running. Good, good, good. And off the back of very good summon damage, you know, we get away with it. Hey, Chase, how's it going? So you wish that the brimstone guns work like Iron Drakes? Yeah, no joke, man. You know, at least the Trollhammer torpedo ones are insanely punchy. And if you get tons of reload reduction, it can be very good. But yeah, with the range they have and the way that they operate and the lack of fire while moving, it's just... When you compare them to an armor-piercing gyro, or to a gyro bomber with, like, you know, suppressive fire, like, it's just... It's not just a little worse. Not just a little worse. But... Wonderfully, we take out the White Dwarf, which means this gyro bomber won't be a problem, and these Iron Drakes won't be a problem, and indeed, due to this, we should be pretty good to get another Blood Ground up top here. I don't know what Gromby's defeat trait is, but I'm excited to get it. He's unbreakable, of course. But it won't take an eternity to beat him up with Taurox. We'll get our poison guys on there. You know, it's, he's a very brave dwarf, Grombrindle. But look how big Taurox is, you know? Oh, man. He's just so cool looking. I mean, observe. Astarion has nothing on him. But, you know, Gromby's not too long for this fight. Okay, so, oh, right. Amazing. I didn't know how it worked. So this Gorgreed ability gives you the heal. You level it up through hitting people. Sure, knew that. But it stays on even when you're not in melee. So now, you know, we've got a source of regeneration for our Minotaurs. Oh my goodness. There's no way it was always like that. R.I.P. to Grombrindle the White Dwarf. It was sad that you happened to have been born in the same region of the world that Taurox the Brass Bull was. It was necessary. But no, I'm excited for Inscription, not least because I didn't play any of, like, the deck building roguelikes and whatnot. Like, I own a couple of them. Oh. What? This is not a defeat trait. I already have Terror. It's like, you know, I know that's a couple of the old ones. I just feel like those are really, really underwhelming defeat traits. And we're going to go for the bonus for Minotaurs from there, and here, get scouting. Well, at least we get the Home of Discord, which is very, very excellent. And then we'll go here, and this guy will... Because he doesn't have any settlements, right? Yeah. He doesn't have any settlements at all. So he will, he'll have to do something about that. Nobody knows what. terror when fighting dwarves. Meh. Meh, I say to you. Meh. Because honestly, it's like, I guess it would be fine if you had like a crummy lord, but like when do you care? It's so easy to get terror on such a large number of characters that it feels very underwhelming when that's what you get. Oh, Malekith's back. You know, looks like he's gonna try to take a settlement, maybe. Oh, he's got his little chariot. You know, he only wears the chariot for a little bit. Oh, and he got Circlet of Iron, which is pretty annoying for a player to have, but, like, they don't really use Power of Darkness very well, in my experience, so... Alright, boom, baby. Fire Pit of the Minotaur. And Grog Hooves of Wolves Run. I am not that familiar with these Centaurs. What's special about them? Drunken Bravado. Oh, they have regen. Because normal ones have perfect vigor if their leadership's fine, but they have regen. Alright, yeah. And poison. Yeah. Wizard. Sweet. I love some armor-piercing skirmishers. That's my favorite thing. And with regeneration, of course, it allows you to be dumb and get away with it, which is sort of like the Beastman tagline. Do you want to be careful? No? Then play our faction. There we go. And then we get this one, which is going to let us get another Cygor summon use, which is better than anything else, including a bunch of weapon strength and stuff. Alright, good stuff. Now, we are very close to having enough dread to get one of the other legendary lords, and, I mean, we're probably going to do that. Because the thing is, too, is you can federate them. Now, in a normal game, confederating an allied faction that you don't know where they're at can be very stressful. For Beastmen, it's fine, because you're not going to be at war with whoever they're around, you don't have to pay for their units, and it gives you another place to start smashing them. But that's probably what we'll spend the dread on, rather, because we can't spend it on unit cap upgrades for Minotaurs until we get a couple more places anyway, right? Right. So we just have 34 right now, and we got to get 150 in order to get access to more Minotaurs, so I think grabbing another one of their armies, that'll be the way to go. Exactly. Like, how will I ever defend it? It's like okay, you just you take an opportunistic route. You know, you can sea lane away, or you can just say, hey, this is a good place to hang out. You can just replace their lord there with somebody else, and then move their horde over. You know, there's a lot of ways to do it. And every Beastman Legendary Lord is good. Khazrak is less good than the other ones. Morgor is a monster. And Malagor is a devastating battlefield character. And so is Taurox. Malagor can win whole campaigns by himself. You just have like some stealth units in a corner, and his ability to be an absolutely hysterically difficult character to take down while casting Flock of Dooms on everybody. It's nice. Now, Okay, so the mountain camp is the ogre camp. It's not like an actual place. We could burn this down. That's a siege, though. This will be more fun. Now, so Razor Standard, this is a thing that, like, it goes from being pretty good to actually very good sometimes. So if you put it on, like, a unit of dogs, they actually get respectable armor-piercing damage. And dogs tend to have a lot of units, of models in a unit that get into a fight. So that can be very advantageous as well. Did they have an artillery piece? They do. They have an iron blaster here. Well, that's rough. But yes, we will simply walk inside. These Noblars won't be able to stand up to this charge, right? Yeah, they're immediately going to tear her out. Good, good, good. And we'll get on the Iron Blaster here. Stop it from getting into hand or out of hand, whichever it would have preferred. We'll stop it from it. Hey, Orange Froggy. Hey, sorry, I was embroiled in thinking about the battle. Up till 5:30 doing calculus horns, so you took the day off of school. Ah, well, I'm all right. You know, it's Wednesday, so I took the day off of work because it is my day off. Just having a good old time, destroying our enemies, and you know, really making them sorry they ever met us. But we're going to play this game Inscription later on. And Hades 2 comes out tomorrow. I'm very excited about all that. Very excited. I have plenty of ice cream in the freezer. You know, it's just going to be a grand old time. Oh, right. The reinforcing army. They're going to be here. And Taurox is just having a party, beating on this Lord in the Iron Blaster, which, you know, is a scary unit. It does a ton of damage, but it's, you know, hampered by line of sight like a lot of things. Like, how are these bulls still fighting? Oh, they have plus 10 leadership here, and I'm like, this is pretty crazy. But, putting aside your natural quantities of Veil Prejudice, Donus is a natural to for you, especially Confederate Morgan. Yeah, and of course, as we know, the Sword of Cain will live there sometimes. Wow, this Tyrant is doing really good against us. What a strong fighter. Respect. I mean, not that much. Let's Helm of Discord and rip him down with devastating weight of advantage from numbers, you know. So, you know, respect the way a Beastman means it. Not too far out on a chariot for our character there, and there we go. But yeah, get Morgar, go into the donut, and Sword of Cain lives there. And Sword of Cain on Taurox is both incredibly logical and objectively a very good time. Sword of Cain on anybody's good. We all know that. We all know that the Sword of Cain is silly. But if you've never got it on Taurox and then you do, you'll be like, oh. Oh. Hiya. And there we go. Now we get the chariot for this character. Chariots, if you can micro them, are very excellent. And actually, like, his chariot, because you get 15 attack, which is, like, most chariots, you know, you have a very low melee attack because you have a big charge bonus, but 15 attack is no slouch at all there. We're going to take the magic items anyway. Respect all scamming factions, no individual scamming though, yeah. You know, you gotta love their dedication to the bit. And there we go. We get our boost for the Minotaurs, and now, of course, you know, our elite Minotaurs will have missile resist in addition to, you know, more punchy stats and stuff. Minotaurs with shields, very nice. Of course, the bonus versus infantry is 18 on normal Minotaurs. Minotaurs with great weapons, also a good choice. You know, all Minotaurs are wonderful. Even the ones with shields still have a primary armor piercing, of course. But I usually like to mix them up a little bit. And here, we moved to raiding stance to send a message. Crobat Fist Smasher. Well, we'll put his name to the test. No, I love how Skaven, rather than saying, we're incompetent, that was dumb, they're like, no, there's a vast conspiracy of my enemies, and they are at fault here. Valkia, of course I'll trade with you. Taurox is like a very corn bull, right? We all know that about him. Alright, full moon. So this is just going to be a 10% casualty replenishment, not a full one. I might as well take it anyway, though. And a trade agreement gives us a little bit of background income, which is great, and we get one more Cygor summon for a total of 3, which is just very nice. You know, sure, it's 10 wins each time, but each Cygor summon does a lot of work, and especially in, like, longer battles, or, you know, in battles like against those Dark Elves or against the Dwarves, like, having those Cygor summons to really tune up the Dwarves, I don't know if I would have won that battle. I would have had to have been smarter, you know. And what are the odds? Do we want a Blood Ground here? No, we want it further away, right? Yeah. Because you don't want your Blood Ground to share a bunch of space with these other ones, you know. We want... Yeah, because this one's already in this one, maybe. We want to go up to, like... You know, to, like, here and do it, and then, like, burn those down, maybe. I don't know. We'll work it out. Okay, and then... Wow, that's good! You know, you get more dread per turn, and then when you attack, you reduce their leadership by 10 for 45 seconds, which is... And you remove charge defense versus large and expert charge at the top. Well, that is very good, too. Alright, so do we spend the money on, like, a giant? Giants are very cool. Are they good? The answer is, unfortunately, maybe not. Army ability to destroy ammunition. Ooh, that's good. But I think we... so getting another Bray Shaman, not really that important here. We've already got one. You don't want two in the army. You kind of want a Cygor Summoner in every army, in my opinion. Yeah, I think just taking this is the move. More dread's more dread, right? Speaking of more dread. Scaven's case is probably true. It's just that their enemies, all themselves and everybody else. Yeah, for sure. They're not wrong, it's just imprecise. And we're gonna go for the Vanguard there, because... in the army, what wouldn't have Vanguard? Just him? Yeah, because all of this has Vanguard. Yeah, and that'd give this all the Minotaurs that. So it'd be everybody except Taurox would have Vanguard, and that's good, you know. And he can just, like, run across. He'll be like, no, don't leave me behind. I must follow the people, for I am their leader. Now, I love Malagor, but Morgur fits with the faction better, because you can just... Morgur is an excellent generic fighter. He has great effects. He, you know, he buffs, like, Chaos Spawn, which is fun, because, you know, he's silly. Let's grab him. Alright, where's he at? Oh my god, he's doing beautifully. Look at this. Look at him. Look at him go. My man... Oh no, like, no, the Skaven are in Skaven Blight. Yo, like, you've burned down Skaven Blight? He's already level 12. So we have the State of Ruinous Corruption already. And yeah, he gets you horrible regeneration, which for Chaos Spawn, it gives them regen, and they'll regenerate, like, units that have died, which is just so good. It's just so good. And you can just get a bunch of cool stuff. He's got a Mortis Engine effect, just default, you know, like he was born with it. He starts with regeneration. He's got 85 missile resist. He's deeply hilariously strong. And we might just get his army set up and send him on over to the donut. And he's even got a Gorbel with him at level 10, who doesn't have the best build, but it'll be fine. Alright, wonderful. Mortis weakness auto resolve. Yeah. He's devilishly hard to deal with. Yeah, because most small lords, at least, it's like, okay, we'll shoot him up, you know, like a Grimgore type. You're like, all right, just run away from him and shoot him. And Morgor is like, look at me now. I encourage you to get some. I mean, we could put the Herdstone here, I guess. I mean, we got to start it up at some point. Why not now? Yeah, because that's going to give us the spread here for these other ones. And going further in, I don't like it would have just given us this Norskin, who is Valkia's vassal. Who's Valkia's vassal, and that would have been disadvantageous as well. Disadvantageous, that's a way you can talk if you want to. Technically correct. Alright, so now we get Apocalyptic Vision because it's a massive melee attack buff. And now we've got, you know, we've got some real good units. The future is now, and it's shiny. Sons of Goros have Guardian, which is good. And this dude will be, you know, forever cursed to be the beautiful backup army. Knowing that the unit caps will always be given to someone else. Yeah, and that's the thing with Morgor too, is he has all these Chaos Spawn, which are unbreakable, so even, like, army lossing him can be a very precarious idea. And you can just straight up stack him with, you know, like, I don't normally love doing single unit stacks, and I wouldn't with him either, but you could do, like 8 or 10 Chaos Spawn, and, it's pretty amazing what you can get done there. A couple Feral Manticores, a couple Harpies, you know, just like a real weird army. It's like, it's so nice too, because you're here and you're like, hey, I already won, didn't I? There's nothing that anyone can do to make me lose this game. Not even me. I couldn't even do it. This Banter of Gorok is so good. It gives the Minotaur, like, less armor, but 50% more weapon strength and 40 melee attack. It's really kind of bonkers. And then this Banner of Madness is nice. It's like a little baby Mortis that goes if the enemies around are beat up a little bit. Very nice. Not as good as a real Mortis, but those are a little harder to come by. A little, not much harder. Like, if you think I want to play through that siege, you're wrong. I don't want to do it. 6K, a lot of money. Growth, even better. He'll go down there, deal with that one. And boom, baby, there we go. The growth pump working beautifully, and of course, like, the more high level hordes you have, the more you get for other people. 15 AP damage for one ability, like, it just seems like that's an old one, you know, like they would have made it better. Oh, I get perfect vigor from that. Let's go ahead and aim to that then, shall we? I'm the Juggernaut. All right. Things are going well. We got 500 dread again already, because it's like you can really, like, steamroll over without even using Taurox's unique silly mechanics, which, you know. We are getting to it, and these guys, you know, this horde be building up, and it's going to be great. It's going to be real good. So we'll finish this up, and then we'll just be able to pivot around, and then, you guessed it, fight the elves, you know, who have long been an enemy of our people. But we might pop Silostra first, you know, for having the temerity, but we might just ignore and go through the other lands. What are my objectives, even? Do I have to... I'm like... That's right, you don't gotta do anything except destroy everyone. Oh, it's generic. Well, you know, get your marks, sack the things, and then Taurox has to go and destroy all the Empire. And then raise the Oak of Ages, which is just... Why would Taurox have to destroy the Empire? You know, there's a mod that, like, revamps victory conditions. I've never used it. I think it, like, adds different rewards and stuff, too, which I think is cool. But, alright. Demonic Vigor. Boom, baby. Perfect Vigor on my man. I guess we could take another Gorbel here. Yeah, because the one that we have access to is elsewhere. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab it. They're really good heroes. Determined gives 30% in experience gain. Pretty good. I think we'll go with Tough, though. Fudhuif. The Gorbel. His mama named him that. I'm like, oh, I recruited I recruited the hero before I moved. That's pretty careless. It'll be alright. So it's time for Morgur to get on the road. And we can, you know, we can search the shipwrecks along the way. You know, that'll be nice. Mr. Mammoth Rider, yes, yeah. The he'll be up here. The green fellows here. The Mung. Oh, it's led by Welch this time. That guy with his name. Cause Gromby will be back like right now, or maybe the turn after. But man, I just love Beastmen. They are everything that I want in Total War, which is like the ability to go anywhere, fight anyone, and never ever care if anything happens to you afterward. It's like how the Malachi campaign was, only you theoretically needed money, but it was just like, I will go and do what I wish. Here we take the money, I think. Because it's a lot of money, and I need money. Yeah, now we are talking. There we go. It's all coming together, baby. The other Trickster Shard. This item... This item's the Madman. Okay, so you do this to a unit to make them really strong, and then they take 1 billion damage afterward. Well, I guess we could throw it on like a summon, or on like a dog that was going to lose anyway type of thing. I mean, seems good. And this... you know, do a ton of ammo damage to the enemy seems good too. Should we save the money for level 5? That's far away. We should save the money for level 4 of this, because that is close. I may have to defeat a foe in battle. We're gonna do it. We defeated the foe in battle. Good. And we get like a ton of money for it. And we now get more income from buildings, faction-wide. Wow. Sloppy Cruikshank is probably going to bushwhack us on the water here. That's usually what happens when you move across the sea like this when you're weak. Gromby is over here. Okay, well that's where he's at. Entertainingly doing the one thing that won't help him deal with us at all. Given that we don't care about that anymore, that's all in the past. You know what, I'm going to put him in this army because it's going to take him forever to get over to Taurox's. You know, even if Morgan gets popped, it's not the end of the world. He'll come back, you know. You don't lose your unique items, and, you know, we'll just get another Gorble. What are you going to do? They're in Beastman ambush stance on the water. Alright, alright. This is an even better end for Grombrindle, who not only destroys Malekith and sets up in his own seat, but, you know, it's not like Grombrindle cared about where he started out here, right? I don't think he was, like, in a dwarf hold. Is the altar of ultimate darkness a dwarf hold? Do we have ancillaries that need to be equipped? Or Stone Galleon's graveyard, yeah. We burned down everything. Alright, so the Gorble can give us big melee attack buff, big armor and missile resist buff, terror for him and the Minotaurs. I think this melee attack buff is the way to go. You know, having one of each of them is probably the way to go, you know, it'd be, but right now, you know, because this guy's not even in the thing with the Minotaurs, so that'll be good. Alright, so, got our Demonic Vigor, got the red line finished up. We don't really need to take this one basically soon at all. Those units are fine. Plus 10 armor isn't that dramatic of a thing, and a unit capacity for Gorgon, again, like, fine, but, time to go for magic item stealing and post-battle loot. And then, you know, once we get to lightning strike and ambush and, you know, magic item draw, there's a bunch of good stuff to get. But I figure we'll do that. We can go yellow line, but I figure we should go to lightning strike anyway, given that, you know, Beastman things. Maybe not. He called me a Wazak. How could he? $8K from this? Yeah, we gotta. Boom. Wonderful. And then we burn the ritual up, and we get, you know, to the thing. Hooray! And that does give us the army capacity of 2 plus 2, which we've already gotten by, you know, confederating the other person, but is a very major thing in its own right. Alright, Morgor did not get hit by Cruikshanks. Eltharion the Grim. Well, that would go badly, huh? Like, I'm gonna find somewhere on this island to set down. In fairness to this George Skull, everyone was like, yeah, it's like, do you take me for a Wazak? I'm like, no, you called yourself that. That's... I wouldn't say that. And there we get our Minotaur Vanguards. Minotaur weapon strength, obviously very nice. We're just gonna zoom up here. I'm like, man, how good is he doing? Go up to the north of the donut and then meet up there, because we can just... Yeah, we can re-herdstone this on the way down if we want. Can I really not get across there? Man. Craziness. I mean, alternatively, like, do I want to fight the Sisters of Twilight? I do not. I don't want to fight Woodhelves. And we should probably be able to underway over next time there. Is our boat alive? Are we riding on like a large fish? Alright, so 10% casualty, or sometimes beast inclination could be like really crazy. 5 attack is good. Yeah, we'll just take the replen. Man, Taurox is doing alright. Well, you know, we're not going to drop Morgur onto him. Alright, there we go. We do that. We can drop an Ungor herd. Yeah. And spin out the Gorble. And I know for a fact I changed it earlier, but that doesn't matter. It's like, is Gromby at war with anyone but me now? No. Oh no, he's at war with the other, with Haggrave, wherever they are. Oh yeah, the forces of Malice over on the other side of the whole map. And there we go, level 20. Let's just take Drenched in Blood too, why not? That'll help us stabilize Bestial Rage better. Where's Gromby able to get his army from? Good question. Maybe he got it at, like, Trackless Spire and then, like, underweight over here. I'm like, what, yeah. Taurox Man-Rippers, these are, of course, very excellent Bestigors. They don't have Vanguard deployment. But they do have Halberds, you know. And they're highly armored. They're a very cool, unit. Not, like, cost-effective, but if you don't have costs, then how would you ever know? How indeed. Boom, and now we're raiding them. And what do they do about it, you know? Because it's a long way away. It's a long way to get to you. And this is where, like, it's fun because you get to be as annoying as beastmen are. They're like, oh, that's a nice land there. It'd be a shame if somebody were to raid it from really far away and then, you know, move away whenever you tried to deal with them. If Morgan's not visible in the sea or not. You know, I do wonder that. That is interesting. Because it's like, it's in Beastman ambush, like, not like on a ship. Military access? Of course, Valkia. I would be honored to walk through your land to defeat our mutual enemies. So we'll just, like, run up this way. Look, if this guy falls, it's not the end of the world. Whatever. But, they may not even, you know, see him there. And if he falls, you know, that's a price that we'll be willing to pay. And we'll, you know, we'll honor his memory by recruiting another guy that's every bit as good as Gallic Bloodgorge, who, you know, we know very well. I'm just kidding about leaning forward to the screen. I thought it would be funnier. But anyway, so. Been a little while since we fought here. Ooh. Misnar. I'm like, why don't I just set up shop here a little bit? We could hang out here. We could, because entertainingly, of course, we could just fight Slanesh for some land and make Eltharion love us? Question mark. No, he's too grim for all that. Like, we don't want to buy anything at that guy's horde right now. We don't know if it's gonna last. Do we buy this? I mean, we need that for the. It's only gonna be a couple of turns. We might as well hold on to the money. And not least, I mean, we could just like buy one of these banners, which would be worth it too. This is what we do. We'll just buy this battle. Oh, you can get more than one of them. Nice. Because that campaign movement range will be very nice indeed. Two Batman villains start fighting. Batman usually steps in anyway. Yeah, I am. It was really just I didn't want to start this fight with Morgar on this side of the island because I didn't think you could win any of these fights. But I just wanted to park over here and like get a little bit of health back, and then hopefully meet up with them over around here, where you know we're less on the opposite side of the donut and more where we could help out. But I guess we're just gonna like rage and reave through here. Probably is what we'll do. So I'm totally willing to just let Grombrindle not get eliminated, although it would be tidy to do it. And they move forward quite carelessly. I really got to question, you know, if they're behaving intelligently here. Alright, so this would just like get us higher recruitment for a bit, but yeah, be all good. He runs away. This is your last settlement, buddy. Oh, it's armies of miners. This army, though... Oh, he got a grudge thing. And then a bunch of miners. But where'd he get the Iron Drake? Literally where? I guess you can get him at, like, tier 2, though. Why the AI can retreat out of a settlement, we can't? I think you can if it has a port. And that's the rule. Although he retreated out of it... I think it's ports that do it, and then maybe there's like secondary buildings that allow you, or maybe they just get to. I thought you only could do it if it was a port, though.
For now, your blood and skulls are yours to keep.
Like, do you want to just give me some money, Valkia? Yep, just a couple more turns and we'll be good there. And we'll get this one here because I immediately ignored what I said earlier in favor of doing that. Alright, so we want Primal Fury upgraded. Yeah, the ability that we all have being better is good. But no, we'll get post-battle loot in the next couple of fights, you know. That's the thing about Beastmen. Yeah, you run out of money by buying things, but just go get in a brawl. And he'll run up, but then we'll be able to get him because he'll be in the zone of control. Yeah, yeah. Brilliant. And we smash. I was saying we don't need to deal with Grumbrindle. I'm like, I do kind of want to, though. You hate to leave a job half done. And he will, like, he will be harrying us forever, right? Like, he'll come across the sea. She's gonna get mad about me being here, but, you know, what are you gonna do, right? But how many turns is it gonna take us to get to Gromby? 'Cause if we do it like right now... No, not that one. Yeah, I don't know. We can just leave, because he, we can just leave, whatever. If he chases us, then we'll beat him whenever we see him again, right? Right. Oh, Celestia wants peace now? Does she now? After all she did to me. I can't believe it. Well, we'll see how it works out for her. Okay, so Ankari's doing fine here. That's not great for us. Oh, he's digging for treasure. That's good. Good for him. And now we just need to get a bunch of money so Taurox can go to tier 5. Oh, we were spotted before we could spring our ambush. Well, that means it's time to brawl. Now, it thinks that its army matches up well against mine, and maybe abstractly it does, but we'll see. Do we have anything with magic attacks? We don't have anything with magic attacks. Well, gonna have to Traderkin the Sirens down then. Yeah, 55 fizz resist, that'll go away. It's just like being armored. Ah, this battlefield again. Well, fortunately, we already know how to operate on it. Because no, it's not it's just the Iron More Sleeve that's magical ammo. Well, you know, the Sirens won't like getting shot by this anyway, so, you know. Yeah, you know, a couple of, I mean, a boulder that does, yeah, it's good. Good stuff. Spirit Leech, outrageous! Did they overcast it? They must have done. nice music, you know, it really gets the people going. Because, you know, the initial skirmish phase, when taken up by summons, is awesome. This is why I love Beastmen. Because they will spend, like, a lot of grief trying to deal with these problems, and then they just disappear. Leaving them with a whole army to still fight against. Like, are you really gonna charge these bats in on me? Me, the Blood Beast? And this guy does have a polearm. He's an anti-large fighter, but I am the High King of Skyrim. And they've just barely almost gotten through the barrier from the other Trickster Shard. Man, what a beatdown. What a terror. That Traderkin did some good damage. The Sirens are crumbling. And once we take, you know, when you take down the leader of a faction like Vampire Coast, that'll get it done. The Man Rippers are, you know, they are Promethean ripping at the moment, but it's working well. Helmet Discord, gonna really beat him down. Sirens, of course, do pure AP. And a bunch of other nasty stuff, but the thing they can't do is put up to this weight of numbers. Look, ethereal units are really good, but once the Lord pops, what are you gonna do, you know? What indeed are they going to do? There we go, and there's the army losses. And they took this fight. They wanted it. Either that or it was an ambush that didn't work and they accidentally ran into it. Regardless, it looked like they wanted to. And we get 4 grand out of it. Sacrifice the captives for some more. We need to get up to that tier 5. You know, money is very important. Give him poison attacks. And we'll just Hearthstone here, and then, you know, burn a couple more down on the way out. And just say, ah, whatever, DeGromby. Aha! Silostra! Here's our foothold. Marvelous. And we'll just swing on over, and then we'll be right there, ready to keep on going. Alright. So this will be good. This will get us ambush chance, and yeah. Taurox is just a little bit of money shy. We'll probably be able to get it next time. I'm like, Valkia, are you losing? Are you losing to Dark Elves after all I did for you? Alright, so we can get 50% campaign movement range, 5 horde growth, and 120 for armies, or full replenishment for casualties. I think huge movement range is better. Because I don't think any of our armies are going to get beat up in the 2 turns where, like, that's a really good ability, but I just don't think it'll matter here. Oh, and we have... Whoops. Like, well, we could have attacked there. We have enough dread to confederate another legendary lord. Also, very, very funny stuff, you know. It's all coming together. I love a Beastman campaign. You know, I rarely play them to the objective victories, but, you know, a few hours, they can be just so much fun. Of course, once we grab this, they'll all declare war on me, but, you know, will they be able to do anything about it? We could just burn it down. We do need the money. We've got enough. If we lose it, we'll be able to get another one. Guild Galleon here. Because if we just move in and somehow take the gate here, or any of these places, you know, that'll be enough for us to do the ritual there. And then we can just cackle away. You know, we only got to beat one more place there. Tier 5, there we go. Now, do we need it? Not exactly. What a strange question. No, we don't need it at all. But we're gonna pay for it anyway. And it's going to, you know, make all the other armies grow better and stuff. Also, we have so much dread. Let's just go ahead and grab Malagor, I guess. Could be Kazrak. Yeah. Alright, so we grab Malagor. Is he alive? He is! He's tier 4 over here. And he's just hanging out, you know, being polite over here. And, you know, and he's got some nice units, like a Gorbel, like a big old giant, and Feral Mantis and stuff. And we're just going to get some things in his armies, and then we're just going to start trekking over, you know, the Beastmen are going to congregate on Ulthuan, and then we'll see what happens from there. But, well, I mean, abstractly. What's going to happen is soon enough, this playthrough, for right now, will end. Although, you know, what a good thing for you to notice last night, Luke, when we were talking about a shorter campaign, that, like, that Taurox would be a very nice sort of 20-turn campaign. Because, you know, while we can continue on with it, you know, it's still very satisfying. Just get in and punch and, you know, get just like a dramatic. I mean, I guess it's turn 34, but yeah. And then we get this ability, which is not very good. I mean, I guess it's repeatable, so that is very good. And we can put it on the Gorbel, so he'll sound the Horn of War, right? And then give him the old Hellfire Sword. Which would take away the poison. Because Malagor is bonkers. Malagor, you get this negative leadership. You have that, and then Morgor, and they have, like, no leadership. You get, like, where's that Mantle of Crows? Yeah. This is a Mortis Engine permanent Flock of Doom, essentially, that you get to activate, and he flies. He's just so good. And hilariously, he has taken this line, which is fine, and not gotten life leeching, which is bad. Yeah, I guess we can lose poison there and put it on this guy. Because, like, flammable, like, whatever, right? But, I mean, it's fine. Really, it's about getting the magical attacks and the Hellfire Sword ability. Oh, it gives you flaming attacks. Okay, well, now it makes more sense. Like, why would I even care? Well, that's why. And now we get our mini battles far from the capital, which, I mean, the capital used to be right here. And there we go. Boom, baby. Minotaur recruitment. Now, it does take 2 turns, so we'll spend 2 turns getting them. Alright, and now we don't care what he gets, so we'll put him on auto. And then we'll grab that, because, you know, because now at 120 dread per turn just from buildings, you know, that lets us get Khazrak in 10 turns, just casually. That lets us, you know, recruit new armies with much more power. It's nice. And then once we level up just a bit further, we're going to be able to get a bunch of, you know, it's like the whole thing's going to open up. And because, you know, we're Beastmen, once you get access to all of your toys, it doesn't matter what happens to you anymore. Oh, well. Speaking of doesn't matter what happens to me, no. I think actually because of the architecture of the movement there, they won't be able to get me. Oh, no. Well, there goes that army. You know, we moved too far forward where we couldn't see what was going on. What are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? No harm, no foul. We can just get another one. Butchers of Kalkengard are on the menu. One of... Oh yeah, and they cause terror, which not all Minotaurs do out of the box. One of the sweetest RORs in the whole dang game. And they fit our army, of course, like a glove. Time to drop this Warhound. And now this army is like, you just charge in and you just bowl over the foe, and it's wonderful. And then you're like, man, this is kind of boring. Not. Said no one ever. Amazing. I'm like, if I just burn down Torenlek right now, what can he do about it? Nothing? Yeah, nothing. Can't do nothing. Yeah, wonderful. And now Morgar's like, haha, I'm gonna have a party. Marvelous stuff. Oh man, I'm having so much fun with this. I mean, sure, we lost that other army, but like, literally, who cares, right? We'll just perform this ritual here. Get our marks. Alright, so we are... We have 92 right now, and at 100 we get there. So yeah, boom, baby. And now the campaign's online. Now we can spend our dread for Minotaurs, which besides these up here, which are all very good, I mean, Incarnate Elemental Beast is amazing, and I'm going to be honest with you, I forgot the Beastmen got them, and I didn't have a Stenkia. So, like, the access to that, and the Jabberslythe, which again, like, I've never played with Beastmen with that, or with the Zangor, so it's like this campaign, there's a lot of possibilities for these armies, and it's joyous, right, because Beastmen are so good at going places, and the game reinforces it, right? It tells you, you're supposed to do this. We're gonna build this building up, right, so that we can get, like, Zangors and stuff, yeah. Because some Zangors, or, like, I like the idea of, like, having a couple of Zangors to back up with the Minotaurs and going in, you know. And, you know, just more eggs into this basket, please. Alright, so we will take... Yeah, I mean, income, item drop, yeah, you know, just soup up Taurox's army. Because all these other ones can always be fine, you know, elsewise. We're just gonna book it out of here. Just like hop on the water probably. I mean, we could... He's got cool stuff in his army, but it might actually be more practical at this point to just get rid of him. You know, respec him and then move a different army. Move him to an army over here whenever he comes back, which could be quite logical. Because the thing about Taurox's army is... It's sort of like the Chaos Dwarf army, only the mechanics of this faction favor that behavior, where it's like, no matter what they do, no matter, and we will take the peace treaty, yeah, pay us, haha, mainly because we're going to Ulthuan, is no matter what they do, if they can't beat the Lord's army, which is very, very punchy, we can put it all back together again. But it's even more pronounced here, because I don't even need buildings, right? Like, I already have everything we need here. And this army's terrifying. Sure, there's, like, some Ungors in the middle, but, like, 5 Minotaurs, plus a Gorbul, even though he's not that leveled up, and Taurox, even though he's not that leveled up and not traded up, like, it's nutty. And, you know, we're gonna be able to, do a big old rampage before too long, and then... And then when we do that, that's when we'll spend the dread on getting more Minotaur amounts, you know. And then it'll all come together. I love Minotaurs. They're so good. And of course, now that we have peace, we're just going to move to raiding stance, because I don't think that does anything to your reliability, right? Like, you can raid the person, which is so funny, too. Like, Beastmen, you get them to pay you for peace, and then you immediately go back to raiding. It's just like being Beastmen in real life, you know, in Warhammer life. We can hit up this island on the way in. The Black Harvest in Montana. So, negative 50 replenishment rate. Like, where is that? Oh, that's all the way over here, right? Unless it isn't. Looks like Valkia is almost over, but the Mung tribes are doing very well. Look at them. Yeah, they're rocking out. They're moving into all of these lands that I burned down. And that's right. I was like, I forget that the Herdstones you can actually get units from, because you upgrade your Dread thing eventually when you get tons of it. You know, it doesn't take that many thousands to get up here, and then you can get a level 5 Hearthstone, so anytime you put one down, it's like, plop, now I get a huge army, and you can just send out, you know, random reaving bands everywhere. I don't think anybody has the Sword of Cain. Which is disappointing, because once we move in here, I don't think anyone's ever going to be able to get it. Very sad. Alright, let's move back over this way. Like, they might see me, huh? And Nikari would absolutely dumpster some stuff here. Like, without even looking at the army, like, I know what a Slanesh army can do. But, I mean, Morgur did his job here. He moved in, set down a Herdstone, burned some stuff up. That's what you gotta do. That is how it's done. Man, Beastmen are so fun. So they're here now, so I can go here and burn it down? Yes, because I am very clever. And we lose, like, everything in the army on the auto? I mean, yeah, whatever. We'll just get it again, right? Like, they don't even know my real name. Oh, wow, I'm like, why is my recruitment option so low? I don't know why. Chaos corruption, maybe? It's like I would have thought I would have been able to get more than this. Oh, because this, if we're in the region, that's what, yeah, alright. So it's all good, though. After all, annoying this faction a bit more is good, because he's at war with all of these High Elves, so this is just helping us out. And, you know, maybe the High Elves will like us, actually. Spoiler, they won't. But, you know, maybe they could. Speaking of things, we grab Khazrak One-Eye, and with that, the Confederation of all is achieved. Is Khazrak on the map? I don't think so. Well, that's all to the good. You know, we'll be able to recruit him down here. Yeah. His horde building very crummy because, you know, he would have been very beat up in the old distant past, but he'll be fine now. He's got a huge horde recruitment capacity for himself, so in a couple of turns he'll be in form. Of course, Kozrek's got some good abilities himself. It's like a Houndmaster. Yeah, Houndmaster gives bonus first infantry to Warhounds and Harpies, which makes them very, very good at like jumping on archers or at counter airplay if they're going against bats or whatever. Feral Fervor, very good Strider for the whole army, and it gives stock to Bestigors and stuff, and he loves besties. So it lets you get like all those cool Corngors and then, you know, push them out there. It's just a bunch of stuff that makes the units that most people don't use in Beastmen a lot better, and that's why I like Kozrek, because I believe in those things. He gets Scourge, his unique item is very good indeed. Giving Discouraged is very nice, and then of course, you know, there's some other stuff there. But, and even if they pop him, he's immortal. He'll be right back, you know, after his previously scheduled messages. But, speaking of those messages, we can search this island. We will do it. And we get campaign movement range. Good, good. And we can, because, yeah, we need to have a caster in all these armies, but, you know, that's for the future. But right now, man, what a great beginning to a campaign, right? Because all you gotta do is brawl. I love it. It suits my style, which is a lack of care, very well. I love a horde faction. I love them. And bam, and just like that, you know, you do the things and then boom. The Vorbergland Brood Mother. I bet she's awesome. I don't know what it does. Alright, so how's it different than a normal Jabberslith? You're joking. Alright, so this one is a Sunder Armor version of the thing, and then of course they already have other ones. Oh, and it Sunders with attacks, and yeah. Because this one's armor piercing, and this one is not. Yeah, this is a poison, non-armor piercing one. And this one is an armor piercing, sundering one. Which is, like, you know, shooting it all over all the time. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Can't wait to make it into one of the armies. Yeah. Good stuff. Well, that, you know, there's not, I don't think we're going to have like a capstone battle for this campaign. Okay, now he's got more recruitment slots. Good. Because Morgar is the one who gets like the Jabberslith. Yeah, he gets the better aura there and the other stuff. So, you know, maybe it belongs here with him. But we'll just go ahead and end this video now-ish. But I love everything about the Beastman faction now. Like, I love that you can get the other legendary lords even if they're eliminated. That's so good. I mean, everybody loves playing Pokemon, right? And I love how good all their units are now. I love that each of the legendary lords encourages you to build a more unique, suited to their strengths army, which, you know, gives you all of the coolness that you could desire. So this is 15 melee attack and 30% weapon strength for all units, or totally full damaged unit replenishment, or 50% weapon speed. It's like, how good is that, you know? 15 melee attack for all armies is very good indeed. We might just take full replenishment, though, to allow us to be careful. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. The man is Taurox. There's no capital. We're a horde. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, because I have to get on with my day, get a little bit of food in me, and then in about probably an hour and a half, I'll schedule it after we end this. We'll be playing Inscription this afternoon. It came to me recommended from a viewer, so I'm excited to give that one a try, and you know, maybe I'll see you there. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Really hope you've enjoyed. Man, Beastmen are so fun. It's hard for me to want to even play a campaign that's not Beastmen after I get my teeth into one. But, you know, the variety is the spice of Warhammer, as they say. And if they don't, they could start saying that. But anyway, see you, Luke. Thanks for hanging out. Coolio, Chase, Froggy, hope you're all doing well. And see you later on, perhaps. We'll be here probably an hour and a half is when I'll schedule Inscription for. That'll give me time to eat some burritos, have a shower, pet the dog, tell him he's a good dog, all of that, and then get into it for the night. So later, guys. And if you're watching in the future, disregard the time-sensitive information, and I hope the weather is nice. So later, people.